Most people in town only remembered Marcus Hayes as the man serving a life sentence. They never knew about the stormy night when he pulled two hungry, freezing kids off the street and sheltered them like they were his own. They never knew how those same boys, now grown men, would walk into a courtroom 20 years later and deliver the truth that could save him. And none of them imagined that on the day Marcus lost hope, the sound of the courtroom door opening would change everything. The rain was coming down in sheets the first time Marcus saw the boys. He'd been walking home from his late shift at the hardware shop, collar pulled up against the cold, when he spotted two small shapes huddled under a flickering streetlight. At first he thought they were stray dogs, until one of them lifted his head and he saw the pale, dirt-streaked face of a child not more than 9 years old. The younger one, maybe 5 or 6, was shivering so hard his teeth chattered. Their clothes were soaked through, their backpacks sagged with water, and their eyes held that hollow look Marcus knew too well. He'd grown up on the rough side of life himself, raised by a grandmother who fought the world every single day just to keep the lights on. He knew what hunger felt like. He knew what fear tasted like. He approached slowly, hands visible, voice steady. "You boys all right out here?" The older one flinched, grabbing the younger protectively. "We're fine. We don't need nothing." But Marcus could tell they needed everything. After a long, tense silence broken only by the rain, he tried again. "Look, I'm not here to scare you. You can come get dry at my place. Warm food, that's all." The older boy hesitated, stared at him with eyes full of distrust, and finally gave the smallest nod. That night, Marcus cooked the first hot meal they'd had in days. They introduced themselves as Tyler and Ben. Their mother had disappeared, leaving them in a motel room with nothing but a note saying she was trying to fix things. They'd waited 3 days before realizing she wasn't coming back. Marcus poured them cereal like it was treasure. He set blankets in the living room and promised they were safe. And when they finally fell asleep, curled under his old quilt, he stayed awake for hours, staring at the ceiling and wondering why life had brought them to him. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Marcus became their guardian in everything but paperwork. He packed their school lunches, taught Tyler how to fix a bike chain, and carried Ben on his shoulders at the county fair. People talked, but Marcus didn't care. Those boys made his tiny apartment feel like home again. The trouble started the night he confronted a man who'd been stalking the boys' school. Something about the man's eyes unsettled him. Marcus followed him behind the building, and when he saw the man grab a student, instinct took over. A struggle erupted. The man pulled a knife. Marcus wrestled it away, but not before the police arrived and saw only a black man standing over a bleeding white stranger. The stalker vanished into the night. Marcus was arrested on the spot. Tyler and Ben tried to speak up, but nobody listened. The prosecution painted Marcus as a violent criminal. The boys were placed into foster care hours later, crying and begging to stay with him. Marcus promised them, through the glass of the police van, "I'll get back to you. I swear." The court didn't believe his story. They believed the missing attacker didn't exist. Marcus was sentenced to life for assault with a deadly weapon. And at 21 and 17, the boys he once saved still carried the memory of watching the only father they ever knew taken away in handcuffs. 20 years passed. Prison aged Marcus in ways time shouldn't. He kept to himself, reading, working, refusing to lose the gentle parts of him that had raised two boys with nothing but hope. But every appeal failed. Every letter he sent Tyler and Ben went unanswered. Eventually he convinced himself they'd forgotten him, or worse, blamed him. The day of his final appeal hearing, he didn't expect anything to change. Prison transport shuffled him into the courtroom in shackles. His lawyer whispered something about new evidence, but Marcus had learned not to dream. Then the doors opened. Two men walked in, tall, confident, their suits neat but their eyes full of something fierce. Marcus stared, confused, until the younger one smiled in a way he hadn't seen since he was a little boy hiding behind a bowl of cereal. "Ben." And next to him, Tyler, broader, older, jaw tight with emotion. The room went silent as they approached the stand. Tyler spoke first. "Your Honor, we were the children Marcus Hayes took in. We were there the night he saved a student from a man with a knife. We tried to tell the police but no one listened." Ben stepped forward, voice trembling but strong. "We found the man who actually committed the crime. He's confessed. We tracked him down ourselves." They presented DNA, recorded testimony, and the attacker's signed statement. The prosecutor paled. Marcus felt his breath leave him in a rush he hadn't known he still had in him. The judge cleared his throat, smoothing his glasses as the courtroom burst into whispers. "Given this new evidence," he said carefully, "the court overturns the conviction. Mr. Hayes is hereby released." Marcus didn't hear the rest. He was too busy watching the two grown men who ran to him by the defense table, tears slipping down their cheeks. Tyler hugged him first, whispering, "We never forgot you. We just had to grow up before we could save you." Ben grabbed his hand with both of his. "You gave us a home. Now it's our turn." Later, outside the courthouse, the sunlight warm on his face for the first time in decades, Marcus looked at the two men who once were cold, abandoned children under a streetlight. He couldn't hold back his emotion. "You boys did all this?" Tyler grinned. "No. You did. You saved us first." And for the first time in 20 years, Marcus felt the world open up again, full of air, promise, and a future he never dared to imagine.